I've talked to long-term care centers in Republican districts, no less, where doctors and nurses and healthcare workers and parents are frustrated or worried. Mr. President.
The Democratic leader.
Ask unanimous consent the quorum be dispensed with.
Without objection.
Mr. President, today, all America can see the glaring contrast between Republican and Democratic priorities as shown by the bills each party introduced late yesterday. Senators will have to choose to stand with Donald Trump and keep the same lousy status quo and cause the Trump healthcare shutdown, or stand with the American people, protect their healthcare, and keep the government functioning. Today we have a rare moment in the Senate where two bills come to the floor that truly crystallize the contrast between the two parties. On the Republican side, Americans will see more of the same high costs, especially on health care, more of the same failures of the last 9 months, or instead, Republicans can vote to undo the destruction Donald Trump has inflicted on American health care and instead work on a bipartisan bill, the only bipartisan bill that can win, to keep the government open. That's what Democrats offer the American people. The choice is clear. Now, our Republican colleagues seem to think Americans are happy with the direction of this country. They're voting like they think the status quo is good enough, even though they've heard from so many of their constituents the fear of hospitals closing, of health care being diminished, of premiums going way up, hundreds of dollars each month. They've heard that from their constituents, but they stick with Donald Trump, who doesn't give a hoot about them. Republicans are voting like the status quo is good enough. They're wrong. Americans are tired of the status quo. They're tired of Donald Trump's chaos and inflationary policies. And by not even negotiating, by trying to make this partisan, Donald Trump and Republicans are shutting the government down. People are paying more for groceries, more for their electric bills, more for rent. Even a cup of coffee every morning has gotten more expensive under Trump. And health care in America has been plunged into crisis. 15 million Americans will lose their health care. Premiums are set to go through the roof, hundreds of dollars each month, thousands of dollars each year. The American average family can't afford that. And Republicans, what do they say? Well, let's kick the can down the road. Republicans say, let's put it off. Let's do it later. But for Republicans, later means never. We should solve this healthcare crisis now. People are already getting letters in the mail saying their premiums are about to go up the next year, $300, $400, $500. God forbid, even more. A new report today showed that if we extend these tax credits, the vast majority of the benefits will go to the working and middle-class families, to families that need help, and that's what Democrats want to do here today. Also, hospitals from Virginia to Nebraska, from Maine to California are shutting down right now, not next year, now. You know what that means? If you live in rural America, the closest hospital to you might be hundreds of miles away. You might not be able to see a doctor. Even if you can, you're going to pay more to see the doctor. If you're an adult with parents who live in a nursing home, what's going to happen if that nursing home closes due to budget cuts? Hundreds of nursing homes will close because they depend on Medicaid, which has been slashed. Most people, most average families, can't afford to take their parents in. And there's no way that they could provide the same care and expertise that a nursing home could. I've talked to long-term care centers in Republican districts, no less, where doctors and nurses and healthcare workers and parents are frustrated or worry their jobs are imperiled, and worry even more that their patients are imperiled. They cannot understand how Donald Trump and Republicans are so okay with cutting their funding. In short, it's a betrayal. But that's what the status quo looks like under Donald Trump. And also, let me speak to my own colleagues here in the Senate who care about this institution and who in normal times would love to work together with the other side to make good things happen for the country. Donald Trump and his little minion, Russell Vogt, have made a total mockery of the congressional appropriations process. He has trampled over Congress's power of the purse. He has illegally frozen, canceled, and redirected, unilaterally misappropriated hundreds of billions in funding. Why the heck should the Senate vote on a budget if Russell Vogt single-handedly, with Donald Trump's support, undo it all? And that includes NIH research, it includes public broadcasting, and so much else. It's all illegal. It cannot be tolerated. Why pass a budget if Russell Vogt can unilaterally rescind it? Every senator should not stand for it, including our Republican colleagues. Democrats will certainly not stand for it. Will Republicans? Republicans cannot expect that another take-it-or-leave-it extension of government funding that fails to address health care costs is going to cut it for the American people. What we should do instead is move forward with our democratic proposal to work to keep the government open, to lower people's premiums, protect people's health care. And finally, both sides should at least talk. Donald Trump does not want to talk. He has said to Republicans, don't even bother to deal with Democrats. That is Donald Trump saying he wants a shutdown. You have to have two parties to pass a bill. If you say don't deal with Democrats, you're saying you want a shutdown. That's what Trump has said. He either doesn't know the Senate procedure, where you need 60 votes, that's obvious, or he doesn't know math, because he only has 53. Donald Trump is saying he wants a shutdown, and Leader Thune and Speaker Johnson should resist Trump's bullying. They know the only way to pass a budget is with bipartisan negotiation. In the 4 years when we Democrats had a majority, there was never a shutdown. Why? We talked to our Republican colleagues and created bipartisan proposals. We sat down and talked, which was normally what happened, except our Republican colleagues, Leader Thune, Speaker Johnson, are too afraid to buck Donald Trump. Well, the American people won't stand for Donald Trump's status quo. They don't like the Republican partisanship. They expect both sides to come together and address the real needs they face, from health care to the cost of living. This is what Democrats offer the American people with our bill today. Will Senate Republicans heed their call? And I must speak for another moment about the FCC. We are in a moment of peril, dire peril in America, because yesterday, Donald Trump said he intends to put a dagger through the heart of what America is about, when he said that he doesn't believe in free speech, that maybe the licenses and ability to speak of people and broadcast companies that disagree with him should be taken away. When Donald Trump says the FCC should consider revoking licenses of networks with shows and hosts who are against me and who give me only bad publicity, he is talking about a dictatorship. That's what dictatorships do. They shut down anyone who has any disagreement with them. But that's what he's threatening to do today through Brendan Carr. He said, I would think maybe their licenses should be taken away. It'll be up to Brendan Carr.